When you walk through the gates of Jim Andrews Field in Napanee, you feel the tradition that oozes from this facility. It certainly is not lost on the Mishawaka Cavemen, a team with a strong tradition of its own. So welcome to the little water tower town that we call Napanee. You are looking at Jim Andrews Field, where tonight Mishawaka and Northwood meet on the gridiron for the very first time on the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Featuring the isosceles triangle of Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for what we think will be an exciting night of football here on TV 46. We saw the Mishawaka Cavemen 3 weeks ago, and they were 0-3 after that game. But, Bob, they have turned it around with a couple of wins, and it seems they have their mojo back.
Well, we thought at that time, Chuck, they were the best 0-3 team in the state. They'd played a really tough schedule. They'd scored a lot of points, but they hadn't gotten over the hill, and they certainly have done that the last couple of weeks. And it's really important to know that they could score the ball. Now the defense is coming along. We knew they were young at the time, but Keith Kinder's done a great job getting this team ready and making them better.
And he says they're getting better because of work on the practice field.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we've had really 4 straight weeks of really good practices, and that's what we've talked to our kids about. Building good days on top of good days can lead to great outcomes. So we're excited about another opportunity to compete against what I consider the premier program in our conference in terms of tournament success and conference success.
Nate Andrews' Northwood Panthers are 2-2 on the year, but tonight they will bear very little semblance to that team. Nate Newcomer, the starting quarterback, is out with a knee injury. Caden Lone, the backup quarterback, is out because of contact tracing. So Bob Nagel, get the understudy ready because number 3 is in at quarterback.
He is. It's Kyle Sellers going to have to take the snaps and run kind of a wildcat-looking offense. We'll see what happens, but it's always been next man in here at Northwood. I'll take it back 15 years ago when the quarterback they were counting on wasn't available, and Skylar Titus, a young freshman, stepped in, and they wound up 3-6 in the regular season, went on to win a state championship. You never know what could happen. We're going to see history tonight, and I tell you what, one thing about Nate Andrews, he knows how to handle adversity.
The biggest thing is we got to come together as a group. I know this from experience, and so do most of us. It's just hard to implement it, that when we're struggling with our own selves and or we have some issues in life or some problems going on, the best therapy, the best thing to do is help others. Help others through their problems, through their issues and their situations. When we can do that, we can learn from it, and we can improve and get better ourselves, makes ourselves feel better.
When we spoke to Nate Andrews this week, Bo Hunt, he mentioned that teams tend to take on the personality of their coaches. These were 2 guys that were contemporaries of you back in the 90s as a player. Do you see that?
Oh, I definitely do. I see the personalities with them coming through with their teams, and great coaches do that. They buy in, they have the kids buy in, and the kids have to buy in, have to believe in them, but it's not just that. It's the communities, it's the family, it's the administration, and you see that with both these communities where they've bought in to the program, to the coaches, and you can see that's why they're having the success that they are.
The weather and the calendar will tell you that we have turned to October, and tonight puts the burr into October. It feels like football weather. We're ready to go. We'll have the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win for you next on the 46th Game of the Week.
Is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Intera Credit Union, Bills Heating, Jordan Automotive Group, TCU, Aegis Dental Group, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome, everybody, to the Topping Dental Group pregame show as we get you ready for Mishawaka and Northwood on this Friday night in Napanee. It's time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. We'll start with the visitors from Mishawaka, and they really focus on their offense, and rightfully so. They're led by their junior quarterback, Justin Fisher, 6'2", 195 pounds. Fisher can hurt you with the arm. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes, but he's more efficient with his legs, where he's run for nearly 700 yards and 12 touchdowns this season. And he's very dangerous giving it to his fullback. Some have likened him to a bowling ball, others to a diesel, but Drew Mason gains yards just about every time he touches the football. 91 carries for 573 yards and 6 touchdowns. including a career-high 178 yards against Concord last week. The keys to win for Keith Kinder and the Cavemen.
Well, number one, Chuck, the red zone can't be a dead zone. They've got to make the yardage equal points throughout the ball game. No turnovers. The key stat of Mishawaka's losses early in the season were the turnovers, and they got to win first down on both sides. Get the defense off the field, and then move those chains on offense. Keith Kinder now in his third year, record of 22 wins and 9 losses.
As we told you in the open, it's a different look for the Northwood offense tonight with both Nate Newcomer and Caden Lone sideline. The quarterback duties tonight turn over to Kyle Sellers, the 5'8", 155-pound senior. Has been the most effective receiver on this Northwood team, and he can run the ball too, averages almost 5 yards a carry. He'll be asked to fill a different role tonight, as will Ethan Evers. Evers, a 6', 187-pound sophomore, will be asked to do a little bit more from the running back position this year, where he's averaging over 5 yards a carry. He's also the leading tackler on defense, and certainly he'll be challenged by this option attack of the Cavemen. The keys to win for Nate Andrews and the Panthers.
Well, they have to neutralize the line play. Mishawaka is big, but the quickness and the stunts for Northwood has caused problems for other teams. They got to dominate the kicking game, and I tell you what, points have been tough to come by for Northwood, so if they could score on special teams, that would be outstanding. And they have to play with physical and mental toughness. You know, they're show Mishawaka the toughness of the Northern Lakes Conference, and of course they've got some adversity to overcome. And really a tough week for Nate Andrews. He's 95-60 now in his 14th year as a head coach.
The two teams both coming out onto the field. The Panthers have arrived waving their flag, and now the Cavemen coming out as well. But here comes Northwood ready to make that entrance onto the field. Nate Andrews will come sprinting down that hill just to the right of the flag, and here they come. Always one of the great sights of high school football when you come here to Jim Andrews Field in Napa D. The weather tonight is brought to us by Cutright Tree Services. A glorious October evening, albeit a little bit chilly. That windmill will get pushed by a northwest wind at 13. That's more than a gentle zephyr, friends. 48 degrees the game time temp. The good news is the mesmerologists tell us there's no chance of rain.
And the other good news is we're inside as we take a look at the windmill here. There's the Mishawaka Cavemen as we take a look now at the uniforms for the respective teams in tonight's game. And first of all, for the visiting Mishawaka Cavemen, they're in white jerseys with maroon numbers and maroon trim. They're in white pants, and their helmets are maroon with a white stripe and a white number on the side. And for the home team, the Northwood Panthers, they're in their black jerseys with red and white trim. They're in their black pants and wearing black helmets tonight with the white Panther logo on the side. And these teams look great tonight. And St. Andrews Products can do the same for your team. Reach them at sales@standrewscorp.com.
A little peak of sun coming out tonight as it sets in the west, and captain's getting ready to come out and meet for the coin toss. We'll go over the records for you one more time as you see Nate Newcomer, number 5, out with that knee injury tonight. Northwood comes in with a record of 2-2 overall, 2-1 in the Northern Lakes Conference. They were able to pick up a nice win over Wawasee, 39-0 in conference play. Last week succumbing to Northridge by a count of 7-0. And then their other conference win came over Concord 14-6. Meanwhile, Mishawaka comes in with a record of 2-3. They lost their conference opener to Mishawaka on TV 46 by a count of 40-32. And it bounced back with league wins, including last week a 36-19 triumph over Concord. You see that Northwood has won the toss and elected to receive, and they'll receive it down at the east end of Jim Andrews Field.
Well, a nice crowd on hand here for both teams. Mishawaka's got a lot of excitement going with the turnaround with 2 straight wins, and they have a lot of people that are here tonight experiencing Northern Lakes football for the first time here at Northwood High School. So a lot of history being made tonight. There's a look at our officials for tonight.
Jeff Carmichael is the white hat, the referee. He's joined by Dave Dillon, Chad Gibson, Michael Jordan, no, not that one, and Doug Pullen. So we're just about ready for action here in Napanee. Key game in the Northern Lakes Conference where Warsaw has the conference lead. Bart Curtis's Tigers sitting all alone atop the NLC. Whoever comes out of this game unscathed, still in the race nominally. And the good news for Northwood is they still have Warsaw to play. You also see Northridge in there at 3-1. We'll get a chance to see the Raiders and their brand new Intera Field next week.
Looking forward to that trip, and we're glad to be down here in Napanee. The water tower just off to the right of our field, and the windmill blowing in the background, and we've got everything set what you'd like to have for a good game here at Northwood High School. And here to call the action tonight, our Family Broadcasting Corporation Sports Director Chuck Fraby. Chuck?
Old habits die hard. Connor George does the kicking for Mishawaka. Ben Fatarusso is back deep. Neither player with triskaidekaphobia. They both wear the number 13. Toe meets leather, and we're underway at Andrews Field in Napanee. It's Fatarusso from the 4. Behind a wedge. He'll bring it all the way out to the 35 before he's finally brought down. Kanan Jewett was able to make the tackle, but a fine play on special teams to start things off for Northwood.
Good return, and that's something that's going to free up the offense a little bit. And again, we're looking at a different setup for them, but we'll see what they can do. They can run their whole playbook now. They're out to the 35-yard line.
You see that 40 on the Northwood helmets. That's in tribute to Gail Sayers, the former Bears running back who lived just up the road in Wakarusa. Kyle Sellers comes out at quarterback. He'll put Ethan Evers off to his left. 4-man front for the Cavemen. Joe Newcomer in motion. Sellers trying to go behind that wall of blockers. He's got some speed if he gets to the outside, and he picks up 5 yards before Jewett brings him down. We've got a chance now to meet the Northwood offense. It's sponsored by our friends at Cook's Pizza, along with Sellers and Evers. Parker Philly has been coming on well at the tight end. J.J. Payne, the split end. Good group on the offensive line with a couple of returning starters led by Bo Stankovic, the 6'2", 244-pound senior.
Good way to start out for Kyle Sellers.
By the way, our opening kick tonight sponsored by Health Markets with Cheryl Noblet. Here's a run up the middle for the Panthers, as they'll give it to Sammy Smith. And Smith, the 5'9" junior, with his 5th carry of the year. Let's meet the Mishawaka defense now, brought to you by R&B Car Company. And when you take a look at that defense, along the front line, they're getting terrific play out of Gavin Eggendorfer and Bo Brown. The linebacking core, Colin Lutzen for the injured Keegan Mabey. And in the secondary, keep your eyes on Devon Parker. He has 3 interceptions this season. Northwood will bleed the play clock down here. It's at 9. Sellers in a deep shotgun. He'll run the right side and get met at the line of scrimmage by Bo Brown, the defensive end. He had some help that time from Connor Addison, the safety. It'll be 4th and 2, and let's see how much of a gambling man Nate Anders is here.
Not sure how many opportunities they're going to get this field position, Chuck, but with their kicking game a little in question, could be the quarterback's got the right to kick it as well.
They line up to go for it. Long count by Sellers. Both Newcomer and Lone were the kicking game here for Northwood, so it gives Nate Andrews even more incentive to go for it. Sellers has room on the right side. He's got the first down and more. Sellers all the way down to the 36-yard line. They'll spot it at the 37. That's a pickup of 20 yards for Kyle Sellers and a first down, sponsored by J&N Stone. You get another look from the Aegis Dental Group. Good outside block by J.J. Payne to help spring him.
Pretty nice pickup there, Chuck.
So a gamble, a 20-yard run. Only the 3rd 4th down conversion for the Panthers this year in 12 attempts. Sellers will run it again, this time trying to find some room on the left side. He managed to wriggle his way forward for 2 yards before he's brought down by the Caveman defense. Our first quarter tonight sponsored by Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church.
20 yards so far for Sellers in this early going.
Well, Kyle Sellers, a young man who is a fierce competitor. Talked to him this week. There's a lot of other things he'd rather do than talk to the media.
Did a pretty good job, though.
2nd and 8 from the 35. Eddie Hildebrandt in the game now, but they'll give it to Ben Fatarusso on the end around. Fatarusso trying to get the outside, but this will be coming back as a flag comes in behind the play. Jeff Carmichael, the referee, threw it, and that's usually indicative of holding.
A lot of new names in that lineup.
Well, that was Fatarusso's first carry of the season. It's a block below the waist called against Northwood. And as a spot infraction, it'll go 5 yards from the flag. It'll wind up pushing them back to about the 43, I believe. Nate Andrews, the fiery seventh-year coach of the Northwood Panthers on the sidelines, wants to know who the culprit was. And actually, that's a 10-yard spot infraction, so it takes it all the way back to the 48. And Northwood will be looking at 2nd and 20. Keith Kinder, his opposite on the sideline, third year at Mishawaka, 20-8. Keith, a 1999 Jimtown grad, said he was a lot less nervous coming in here tonight than he was 23 years ago when he played his first varsity game for the Jimmies.
There you go. The only guy who wasn't nervous on this field was Bo Hunt, I think. We'll be going down to him for sideline reports tonight.
Actually make that a 15-yard penalty. They put it all the way back at the Panther 47, so Northwood looking at 2nd and 25. And those are the kinds of plays tonight, especially the Panthers just cannot afford. They have had problems putting points on the board, shut out by Northridge last week. Man in motion is Evers. Sellers looked like he was going to throw. Now he's going to run. And Kyle Sellers runs his way into Caveman territory, spotted down at the 46 for a pickup of 7. Sellers has not thrown a pass yet this year, and he has not changed that yet tonight, but that could be different here on 3rd and 18. You'll get another look at this one from Aegis Dental Group, and when that pocket started collapsing, Sellers went with what he does best. Connor Addison made the stop for Mishawaka.
It'll be interesting to see how Sellers holds up. That's 5 carries already in the ball game for Kyle. And again, as you said, Chuck, he's tough as a $2 steak, but Mishawaka's taking some hits on him.
Sellers rolls to his right, fires, and has his man. That's J.J. Payne. And Payne takes it into Mishawaka territory down to the 34-yard line, maybe the 33. That's not a bad pickup there, 13 yards on the first pass. And it certainly puts Northwood in a position to go for it as you take another look at the right-handed toss by Sellers. May not have been pretty, but it got to the open man.
Yeah, Payne was able to get up the field. Pretty nice job.
The sophomore Payne making his 5th grab of the year, setting up this 4th and 7 at the 33. Good news for the Panthers, they're chewing up some clock, over 5 minutes taken off the clock in this drive. Sellers fakes to Evers. Wants to roll left and throw right. That's difficult. Malam Burris couldn't get him. Now Sellers comes back the other way. He's got blockers. And a flag comes through on the block by Tanner Feenstra. This will be coming back. Sellers ran for first down distance, but Feenstra is called for a crackback block. And that'll put Northwood into a punting situation.
It's too bad because I think he would have made it without that block. He looked like he had a pretty good angle. Looked like he was tackled back at about the 42.
Nate Andrews trying to talk it over with the official on the near sideline, but he's not going to win that discussion. So Northwood already with one 15-yard penalty on the drive. And we'll get another look at just what happened here on the Aegis Dental Group replay. Keep an eye on number 4, Tanner Feenstra. It's that block right there. That was called a crackback block, and as soon as he threw it, the flags came a-flying. It's right there against Dylan Wise.
Another big penalty.
So the 15-yarder marches it all the way back to the 49, and you would think now this would be a punting situation for Northwood. 4th and 22. Sellers lines up in a deeper shotgun, and he'll do a little quick kick. Mishawaka had nobody back, and it takes a friendly roll for the Panthers all the way down to the 12-yard line. So a 37-yard punt with no return. 6:29 left in the first. No score on the 46. Game of the league. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Intera Credit Union. We get it because we live here too. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Humpback with you from Andrews Field. Mishawaka ready for its first possession of the game. They'll take over at their own 12-yard line with Justin Fisher at the controls at quarterback. Drew Mason, the fullback, behind him in this Beer attack. And the handoff goes to Mason, and he'll go forward for 4 yards. Let's take a look at the Mishawaka offense. It's brought to you by the R&B Car Company. Along with Fisher and Mason in the backfield, Chaz Hardy gets the start tonight at one of the wing positions. Devon Parker and Milan Burris, some dangerous wings. And that big offensive line, led by the 285-pounders, Jason DeWilkins and Jaden Seaman. Now on second down, they run it forward with Mason again. And he goes forward to the 20-yard line to set up a 3rd and 2. And we've got a chance to meet the Northwood defense, brought to you by Cook's Pizza. Along the front line, Joaz Miller, the leading tackler among the defensive linemen. We told you Ethan Evers, the top tackler on the team. C.J. Kuhn moves into the starting lineup in the secondary with Caden Lone out of the lineup. It's 3rd and 2. Burris in motion. It's Fisher on the keeper, and Fisher pivots for about 7-8 yards and gets the first down. It's sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. So Justin Fisher doing what he does well, running the football. He's had all 5 of their games this year have been for 100 yards rushing for Fisher this season.
And when you get 3rd down and 4 and you're averaging 7 yards a carry, that's kind of what Mishawaka does.
Hardly daunting for the Cavemen offense. 1st and 10. It's Mason up the middle. He just stays low, which is easy when you're 5'6", and he picks up about 4 yards on the carry. I asked him at practice this week, Bob, about the constant battering that he has to take as a fullback because he's running into these clusters up at the front. And he says, fortunately, with that big offensive line, he really doesn't get much contact until about 3 or 4 yards down the field.
Create a hole, and if he can juke a linebacker and run with the defensive backs, he's had some big plays this season.
2nd and 6, they'll pitch it here, and coming to the outside is Chaz Hardy. And Hardy gets knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That's good for a Caveman first down, sponsored by the Jordan Auto Group, and you'll get another look from Aegis Dental. The sophomore Hardy has played himself into this wing position, especially with Connor Addison nursing a foot injury. So give Hardy 9 on the play, and it will be 1st and 10. Fisher gives the play to Mason in the backfield. And Fisher wants to throw, finds Devon Parker out in the flat. He's got some wheels, folks. Parker a first down and more. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. His 6th catch of the year. And Fisher, with a nice safe pass out in the flat, is able to pick up about 17 yards on this pitch and catch to Parker.
Both quarterbacks have hit their first pass of the night.
Sellers and Feenstra in on the stop that time as Parker comes out of the lineup, perhaps a little worse for wear.
3 first downs in the drive so far for Mishawaka.
Hardy in motion, but it's Mason up the middle, and Drew Mason may have lost the football. The way the official came in, they say it is Mishawaka ball, and only a pickup of 2 on the play. Looked like there was a little trouble in the exchange that time between Fisher and Mason. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 41.
Nice when your play breaks down and you still get some positive yardage out of it.
You look at big Jason DeWilkins down there, the huge guard on this Mishawaka team who benches 315 pounds, trying to find a way to move some folks out of the way here for the Black Crunch. On 2nd and 9, Fisher falls down in the backfield. And it'll be 3rd and 11 for Mishawaka. Let's see what happened there. As you see, Fisher just lost his footing on the nice grass field, took out some divots.
Fisher looked like he had some leverage there, a chance to pick up some good yardage, but
Whoops. Now on 3rd and 11. Fisher tried to keep it himself, and he's brought down in the backfield by big Trevor Klotz. The 237-pound senior Klotz comes in and makes the stop, and it'll be punting time for Mishawaka.
Good stop for Northwood. Northwood stopped themselves with the 2 big penalties, but the Northwood defense came up big right there.
Klotz making a great read there, and Fisher was late in making the pitch to Milan Burris. So 4th down, Connor George is on the punt. The punt is sponsored by Health Markets and Cheryl Noblet, and we've got a whistle blown and a flag thrown for illegal procedure, and that'll move the Cavemen back 5.
First penalty of the night for Mishawaka.
By the way, the last Northwood punt, sponsored by our friends at R. Yoder Construction.
Mishawaka took over with 6:40 to go in this first quarter.
Connor George, averaging 31 yards a kick, hangs a spiral out there that'll be taken back at the 10 by Kyle Sellers. Sellers running north-south, but on this field you want to go east-west, and finally he does, up to the 38-yard line. The second big special teams play of the night for Northwood gives the Panthers good field position.
Boy, head coach for Northwood,
Nate Andrews
did a great job of breaking this game down, and he said special teams would have to be very special tonight.
I believe he said they wanted to dominate in the kicking game, and so far they have.
They certainly have.
So 2:15 to go here in the first quarter, and Northwood with the ball at its own 39-yard line. They were able to move it for 2 or 3 first downs on that opening drive, chew up some clock, but the drive bogged down thanks to a couple of 15-yard penalties.
Yeah, key stat so far has been 30 yards in penalties for Northwood and 5 for Mishawaka.
Evers in motion, Sellers laterals to him, and now Evers takes off running up the field and takes it all the way down to the 48-yard line, a yard short of the first down. Now goes a running play for Ethan Evers, who has carried the ball 14 times this season now for 72 yards. Only a sophomore. He is one of the more impressive physical players out there for Northwood. You certainly see your eye drift to him at practice.
Certainly do, and it's, they're playing some young guys tonight, but you're this late in the season, Chuck, freshmen got to play like sophomores and so on, and guys get a chance to step in there. They got to get it done, and so far, good performance by Northwood.
Now Sellers to throw, and he's got a man out there. Did he get it to him? Newcomer sells the catch and makes it at the 40-yard line. It's a first down sponsored by J&M Stone. Joe Newcomer with his 3rd grab of the season. He's the cousin of Nate Newcomer. You'll look on the Aegis Dental Group and see, and Newcomer did indeed appear to make the catch. Got the hands under it.
Another nice pickup.
So Northwood not afraid to throw the football here with the 3rd-string quarterback who hadn't thrown a pass all season.
Hasn't missed one all season. 2 for 2 tonight.
1st and 10. Sellers will hand it off to Evers. He makes a nice cut up the field. Bulls over tacklers and is on his way to pay dirt. Ethan Evers, 40-yard touchdown. It's sponsored by Bethel University. And Ethan Evers with his 2nd touchdown of the season puts Northwood in front. Look at the extra effort here by Evers. And honestly, some poor tackling by the Cavemen.
I think they thought that he would go down a little bit easier than that, and they sold out. They brought everybody up to help support on the run, and Evers broke loose. He looked like one of those guys in the U.S. Open when they, or British Open, when they bring all the crowd up, and the player finally pops through, and he popped through that time for 6 points.
Now the 2-point conversion, and Kyle Sellers will take it on in untouched. And Northwood makes it an 8-0 ball game. The 2-pointer is sponsored by Bethel University. And the Panthers showing some confidence growing behind their 3rd-string but senior quarterback.
Well, the longer this goes for Northwood, the more confidence they're going to gain. There's Nate Andrews saying that's what we talked about in practice. And, Kyle Sellers is a lot of times you get thrown into a situation and say, boy, I'm nervous. You know, he's just as loose as can be, and said, hey, let's go out and take our shot.
I talked to his dad, Norm, the longtime athletic director here at Northwood, before the game. I said, did Kyle seem nervous to you at all? He goes, he just wants to play. And when you consider what the Sellers family has gone through over the past couple of years, with his mom, Kim, fighting a huge battle against breast cancer, the chance to come out on the field and play football is a chance to escape from reality and come have some fun with your buddies for Kyle. So our Yoder Construction sponsors the kickoff here. Tanner Feenstra, the 6'3 senior, will do the honors. And Devon Parker, is that him back deep or is it Burris? It looks like it might be Milan Burris, the deep man for Mishawaka. Northwood taking that 8-0 lead. Indeed it is Burris waiting back deep. But we'll see how Nate Andrews plays this here. Whether he wants to risk the deep return by Burris or perhaps pooch something here. Unbalanced formation for the Panthers.
A lot of coaches these days, Chuck, we see them try to kick it out at about the 35.
Feenstra hangs it up there, and the fair catch made by Sammy Smith down at the 34-yard line. No, that's Justin Fisher in on the hands team, excuse me. So Fisher makes the fair catch at the 34. And 1st and 10 for the Cavemen, who have an 8-0 deficit to try to overcome.
Folks, when Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your entire family or your whole team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. A big thank you to the team from Cook's Pizza for feeding our production crew tonight. Did a great job. We really appreciate the effort of Cook's Pizza in Napanee.
Justin Fisher at quarterback, hands it off. Drew Mason stumbles as he goes through the hole. Still able to get up to the 38-yard line for a pickup of 4. Had Mason, well, they'll spot it at the 37, so only give him 3. And there's an injured Northwood player down on the field, and it's Blake Herr, whom you'll meet at halftime, one of our TCU-Net Student Athletes of the Week.
Just got a call from the team at Cook's Pizza, said we're in Wakarusa. I said Napanee. Turnover.
That'll happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. I want to tell you, folks, that Cut Right Tree Service provides what you need from advice to tree removal. Their team is dedicated to serving you. If you have storm damage, Cut Right gives fast quotes and exceptional service. We get you back to normal as fast as possible. That's Cut Right Tree Services.
Well, this Northwood defense has been up to the challenge throughout the season. In their first 4 games, they've given up a total of 28 points. That puts them number 2 in area scoring defenses behind Northridge. No wonder that game was 7-0 last week. Fairfield, undefeated on the year. LaVille, undefeated on the year. And Corey Stoner's Jimtown team, only giving up about 12 points a game. They've got a tussle over at School Field tonight against South Bend, Washington. Herr, very ginger as he comes off the field. Can't really put any kind of weight on that left leg, and the trainers will help him come off.
Herr spends a lot of time in the weight room and made himself into a tremendous physical specimen, a guy that Northwood can ill afford to lose in this battle against the Cavemen.
He definitely gives them some strength and power on that defensive line. So it's 2nd and 7 from the 37. See the clock in the bottom right corner of the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. Hand off to Mason, puts the head down and blows his way up to about the 40-yard line. Trevor Klotz in on the stop that time. And we'll see if Keith Kinder tries to get one more play off here in the first quarter. Caveman looking at a 3rd and 4. Game clock well ahead of the play clock here. Burris in motion. Fisher gives it to Mason, and Mason works his way up to the 45-yard line for a first down, sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. And that'll do it for quarter number 1 here at Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. The Northwood Panthers coming up with a big defensive play from Trevor Klotz. And then Ethan Evers was able to run to pay dirt. Kyle Sellers added 2. It's 8-0 Panthers after 1 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Let's get ourselves a Bill's Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt is down there, and your thoughts on that first quarter, Bo?
Well, I think everything played into Northwood's hand in that first quarter. They were able to control the clock, sustain drives, and put points on the board, and their defense really stepped up. Keith Kinder talked about their defense and how fast they are and how they move around, and it's like they got 13 or 14 players out there, and they really stepped up as well in that first quarter, guys.
All right, and your thoughts on Kyle Sellers as quarterback tonight, Bo?
I think it's exactly like what we thought coming in here. He's very athletic, comes from an athletic family, and he's got the smarts and the brains to run that offense. I think he's just done a fantastic job. I was joking with Norm a little earlier down there and said he's going to be tired after this game. And he goes, yeah, he's got SATs tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow. Thank God Kyle is more like Kim. 1st and 10 from the 45. Here's Justin Fisher. Nearly lost the handle on the football and then took a pop from Tanner Feenstra. Feenstra had some help behind him, too, with that Northwood defense as Cole Newswanner came in and made the hit. But Fisher was lucky to hang on to the football. Ben Fantarusso nearly stripped it from him.
Fisher was 6 yards on 4 carries so far tonight for Mishawaka. In that first quarter, Chuck, Northwood with 111 yards of offense to 53 for Mishawaka.
Whistles blown and flags thrown, and we've got an offside call against Northwood.
Folks, for over 60 years, industry has relied on the great team at Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT is the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. The medical, automotive, and defense and aerospace challenges have built our legacy. Reach us at iftworldwide.com. At IFT, we'll work till you're finished correctly.
So now it's 2nd and 3 for the Cavemen from the Northwood 48. And the whistles blow as this play gets underway. That might be a false start, and it is called against Mishawaka.
Back and forth we go.
Jeff Carmichael's crew getting some airtime tonight.
They certainly are. 10 yards and penalties now for Mishawaka.
That'll make it 2nd and 8, and we'll see how Keith Kinder adjusts here. Kinder, a former Jimtown quarterback, coached them to quarterbacked them to 2 state championships in 1997 and 98.
Mishawaka just has to eliminate the mistakes.
They'll pitch to Milan Burris here. He has a convoy of blockers, and then the black jerseys converge at the midfield stripe. Mark him at the 49, and Mishawaka will be looking at 3rd and 4 right here after a pickup of 4 for Burris. That's his 18th carry of the season. He had a good night when we saw him against Warsaw, Bob. Ran for 56 yards that evening.
He did. They had a pretty good focus defensively on Fisher, the quarterback, and certainly on Mason, the fullback. And so Burris had a couple of times where he got loose.
By the way, our second quarter tonight brought to you by Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church. Fisher looks over the defense. 6-man front for Northwood. Fisher will keep it himself. And he lunges up to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 9 on the play. Justin Fisher with a first down sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. That 6'2" frame and the power of 195 pounds makes him a tough hombre to bring down.
And Chuck, we watched him during practice this week, and it was really important for Fisher to be making the right calls, given the situation where Northwood will stunt and bring people in and over, and he has to wait until they've lined up and make the call.
And Garrett Ginter really moved bodies out of the way with a block that time. It's Fisher again trying to go around the end, but this time they get him around the ankles on a nice defensive play by Eddie Hildebrandt, the linebacker, who shot the gap and came up to make the stop. 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8.
Mishawaka going with a little bit different formation here, Bob. They have put an extra offensive lineman out there, eschewing the tight end, and just going with a 7-man front of all offensive linemen.
The 7 blocks of granite.
Fisher now goes left, and that didn't work. Look at the swarming of Ethan Evers in the Northwood defense, and it'll force 3rd and 10. Everything had been going to the right for Mishawaka. They tried going to the left, and Evers was able to split right through the gap.
Well, one of our keys to win, we talked about the difference between the size of Mishawaka and the quickness of Northwood. So far, the Panthers have been able to neutralize that size for Mishawaka.
Northwood's been very good against the run this year. Teams have been able to throw on them a little bit, and let's see if they do it here. Keith Kinder wants to take a timeout. It's sponsored by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. We'll take it too. 8:25 to go first half. 8-0 Northwood on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Aegis Dental Group, trusted dentistry. 3rd and 10, looking for Mishawaka here at the Northwood 40.
Folks, if you're building or remodeling a home, call Reliance Construction. They use quality materials and superior craftsmanship from local suppliers, and in personal service and attention to detail, they're top-notch. Reliance will deliver results beyond your expectations. Reliance Construction, they're not just building a house, they're building homes.
Here's the kind of job that Northwood has done so far against this Mishawaka defense. Mishawaka is 5th in scoring offense in the area, 36 points a game. They have yet to dent the scoreboard tonight here in Napanee, midway through the second quarter. 3rd and 10. It's a reverse. Chaz Hardy finds a seam, and he is off to the races. Hardy with one man to beat. Touchdown, Mishawaka. A 40-yard jaunt to pay dirt by Chaz Hardy. And that is his first touchdown as a varsity player at Mishawaka. The son of the former Penn Kingsman, Chuck Hardy, takes it here on this reverse, goes right past 2 players, and finds nobody between him and the end zone.
Matching 40-yard runs here tonight, Chuck.
Now Mishawaka feels like it's in a position where it has to go for 2. Mason behind Fisher in the backfield. And it's Fisher keeping it and going into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. It's sponsored by Bonnie Doon Drive-In and Bethel University. So Justin Fisher goes in for 2, and we're all knotted up at 8 with 8:17 to go first half. Solid drive by the Mishawaka Cavemen.
Started their own 34, 66 yards. They did that in 9 plays, and a big 40-yard run there by Hardy. Pretty impressive.
Let's go downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. And I imagine, Bo, when everybody focuses on that dynamic duo of Fisher and Mason in the Mishawaka backfield, that really allows guys like Hardy to step up.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think that's one of the biggest things with their offense is they have the ability to do those counters, ins, arounds, reverses type things with a lot of speed, Parker and those guys as well. So that's one of the key aspects. And down here on the sidelines, one of the things Nate Andrews was talking to their team about is stay in focus. You guys cannot lose focus one bit. He said that's one of the biggest things. Do not lose focus, guys.
Well, Nate Andrews, as a player and as a coach, is a guy that never seems to lose focus. As intense an individual as you want to see on the sidelines, but always willing to give us the time when we come over here to Napanee, Bob, to talk to us. And it's interesting to sit in his coach's office this week and talk to him. He probably spent about the first 10 minutes of the conversation talking about his family.
Well, and nothing wrong with that. He's a busy guy, and we were talking to him about how all the coaches have more responsibility these days with all the issues with COVID-19, and he's handling that. And Norm Sellers, everybody at every level, athletic directors, principals, doing a great job of allowing us just to have football.
Cheryl Noblet and Health Market sponsored the kickoff. It's an onside kick, but it is handled by Northwood. Mishawaka tried to surprise the Panthers, but they didn't backpedal at all. They stood right in there, and Trevor Klotz gets his beefy paws on the football at the 48. So again, an area of the special teams where Northwood continues to dominate.
They handled it well. Mishawaka, we saw them practicing during the week. That was part of their attack here, and they wanted to win special teams as well. Steve Sheltra does such a good job with their special teams, and that one didn't get away from Northwood, though, and they've got good field position.
Klotz nearly lost that one, but Caden Williams couldn't get in there in time to take it away. So Kyle Sellers lines up in the shotgun, tied at 8. Sellers, stop and go move. It'll really stop right now as he's brought down that time. Bo Brown, the defensive end, crashes in, and the senior has 22 tackles on the year and comes in with a stop there behind the line of scrimmage.
At St. Andrews Products, your expectations become our standards. We have the finest promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and apparel. Our team handles all embroidery and screen printing in-house to guarantee the quality you want and the timely turnaround to meet your needs. At St. Andrews Products, our answer is always yes. Now, what's your question?
2nd and 11, play clock down to 6. Sellers rolling to his left. Sellers with a burst of speed, taken down at the 36-yard line. It's a first down for Northwood, sponsored by J&M Stone. It was Kanan Jewett who had to come over and make the touchdown-saving tackle. Ethan Evers with a beautiful lead block that time, and he had some help along the line of scrimmage as Bo Stankovic moved some people out of the way. Kyle Sellers having a nice night running the football, Bob.
Yeah, nice pickup there of about 13 yards.
1st and 10, all kinds of bodies moving around. Northwood gives you a lot of different formations. Here's Evers, big hole on the left side. Ethan Evers up to the 25-yard line. He's got himself a first down, sponsored by J&M Stone, a pickup of 10. Here's another look from Aegis Dental Group. And it was Sammy Smith that got out there and made the block that time. Now a double reverse here, and it's Sammy Smith on the carry. Sellers gives him a little block, and Smith dives forward to about the 18-yard line. Pickup of 7 for the little scat back. Smith only 5'9", 135 pounds and a junior, but he's got some wheels and pretty good balance there too.
Pick up on the play.
So they actually said that Evers was short on his run of the first down. That gives Northwood a first down at the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. It's Sellers coming to the left side again. Evers with a huge block moving people out of the way. And Burris finally gets Sellers down inside the 10. Oh my goodness, Ethan Evers obliterating people out there.
Coach was looking for heroes this week, and he's finding some.
Watch number 6 right here. Hello. We'll get you some space to run, Kyle.
Man, he just turned him around. That's, you know, and Mishawaka was practicing that this week about getting low. If you're got the lead blocker coming at you, get low and take him on. But outstanding.
So now Northwood sitting pretty at 2nd and 1, milking the clock as we go under 6 minutes to go first half. Sellers to Fatarusso, and Ben Fatarusso up the gut for a Northwood touchdown. No, they'll spot it at the 1. Oh, Fatarusso really wanted the goal line there. He extended the ball but was ruled down at the 1. Get another look here from Aegis Dental Group. Watch the last lunge there, but his knee went down before he could make that lunge. Tyler Fair with a touchdown-saving tackle for now. Sellers, right side, stymied at the goal line. Bo Brown makes the stop. Loss of about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 2.
Well, I thought Fatarusso was going to be in that end zone, and they're waiting for Sellers to run the ball that time, and he did.
Honestly, I think it's fine with Northwood right now. They're sitting with a 2nd and goal at the 2, and they can milk some more time off this clock. We go under 5 minutes to go first half. Some confusion as to where to line up. Now Sellers will give it to Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith around the outside, couldn't get there. Devon Parker wrestles him down at the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal. So Parker racing to the outside to beat Smith to the spot.
No gain on the play. As we see, Chuck, the biggest thing defensively for both teams tonight has been the quickness. On the outside, they've been able to neutralize the other team's momentum on a lot of these big plays.
So now Northwood looking at a 3rd and goal. Evers to the right of Sellers. Play clock at 10. Smith in motion. Sellers looking for blockers. He's got them on the outside. Touchdown, Northwood. Kyle Sellers takes it on in for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. It's sponsored by Napanee Family Eye Care. And the Panthers are on the board again, leading 14-8. And they will go for 2.
Another nice drive there. 52 yards after the onside kick attempt.
So now Northwood sprinting to the line of scrimmage. Now they set up where it looks like Sellers has Evers over there on the left. Mishawaka tried to shoot the gap, didn't get there. Sellers in for the 2-point conversion. It's sponsored by Napanee Family Eye Care. And Northwood doubling up. Mishawaka right now 16-8. Let's get another look at the TD, Bob, from Aegis Dental Group. You saw Smith on the outside. Feenstra is out there too, but it's Smith's block on Burris that really gave him the room.
And I love the way Sellers is just so patient back there, waiting, get to the point, create a corner, and then he takes off. There he is. Man of the night so far for this Northwood football team.
A little scratched up on the nose. That's all right. Trainer can patch that up.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to win a beauty contest anyway.
I don't know. With that hair, he might. He might. Takes a lot of jostling about that, but it's fine with him. Folks, I want to remind you that Cut-Right Tree Services tackles jobs that others cannot. Their specialized equipment and crews allow them to bring down the most challenging trees. A proud reputation as a dependable and quality-oriented company, Cut-Right is a name you can trust for all of your arbor needs.
Nate Andrews, a 1996 graduate of Northwood High School, 2000 from Ball State, married with 3 kids, also the wrestling coach here at the high school, said this year as much as any other, he's had to be a psychologist on his team, really with all the things that players are dealing with COVID, but he's obviously got his team in a great mental frame coming into this game.
See, Mishawaka tries to set up that middle wedge. That's one of their popular return opportunities.
But again, another little pop fly kick. This one a little deeper, and it's going to roll past everybody. Parker will get it at the 6. Devon Parker eludes a couple of tacklers, still on his feet, and managed to return the kick to the 27. But Mishawaka's got a long way to go. 3:47 here in the first half and 2 timeouts left.
Parker did a great job there because they had to field the ball. It was inbounds. He picked it up. He looked up, and there was a whole group of black jerseys coming toward him. He managed to get it out to about the 27.
Well, actually, they say he stepped out of bounds back at the 18 now, so an even longer field for the Cavemen to have to traverse.
Mishawaka started at their own 12. They started at their own 34, and they started at their own 18.
The Cavemen can be explosive. We'll see if they do that here. Handoff, nope, Fisher will pitch it. Milan Burris around the outside. Kind of gets cut down that time by Sammy Smith and Ethan Evers. But he's able to pick up about 6 yards on the play. We'll see if Mishawaka tries to attack the perimeter on Northwood a little bit more here on this drive.
We're going with Mason inside quite a bit. Northwood's been stacking that middle.
2nd and 5. Fisher coming over to give the play directly to Devon Parker. Makes you wonder if it might be coming to him. Well, and indeed they are. Fly pattern, and Parker couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, just go on a fly pattern, son.
If ever there was a sign they were going to go to a guy, How about when the quarterback goes over and gives the play directly to him?
Here, go here.
And
Go to the blue Volkswagen.
And yet, it was a connectable play if the ball was thrown just a little bit less.
A big opportunity for Northwood to get a stop here. Mishawaka's left themselves 3rd and long.
3rd and 5. Hardy in motion. Fisher lost the ball, regained it, but had nowhere to go. Timing of the ball, or timing of the play thrown off by the dropping of the ball. And a great play by Eddie Hildebrand to go over and stop him. It's going to be 4th and 3 in decision time for Keith Kinder. His defense not exactly collecting a lot of stops so far, so Kinder at least lines up as though he's going to go for it from his own 25.
Fisher 9 carries, 15 yards.
A lot of time left on the play clock here.
4th and 5 if they can get him to jump. We'll see.
And now Northwood will take a timeout. It's sponsored by Reliance Construction.
Folks, you can receive a quality and affordable university education by enrolling in the Bethel University Extension site at Napanee Missionary Church. BU at NMC provides the opportunity for a Bethel education while engaging in weekly practicum specific to your area of interest. Multiple degrees are available, and because the program costs just $10,000 per year, you can graduate with little or no debt. To learn more about this local opportunity, go to the website at nmc.church/Bethel.
I think a few coaches and players might be gathered around the computer on Thursday. On IHSA TV, they'll release the 48th annual Indiana High School Athletic Association tournament pairings. That is Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Tends to be a 2-hour show, so for the Mishawaka fans, those 5A pairings are usually later in the show. The 4A pairings for the Northwood fans right before that, kind of the second hour of the show. But it's always interesting to see how it all unfolds and what your bracket looks like.
Make a big difference on who gets on what side of the bracket, but a couple of them favor our local teams.
Well, and remember in 5A and 6A, it's only usually 4-team brackets. Obviously, 4A through 1A tend to be 8-team brackets. Okay, now Mishawaka calls a timeout. It's sponsored by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. So Keith Kinder and Kyle Shaw saw the formation that Northwood came out with, and they'll see what they counter with.
And coming up at halftime, we'll have our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. And folks, TCU understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, TCU is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they're an equal housing opportunity lender.
Now that tournament draw is on Thursday. Friday night, there's more high school football. We'll stick in the Northern Lakes Conference as Craig Kaler takes his Concord Minutemen over to Middlebury to take on the 10th-ranked Northridge Raiders, one of the best defenses in the state of Indiana. Concord and Northridge in an NLC tussle from the brand new Intera Field. Looking forward to seeing that facility for the first time. That'll be Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9. We hope to be able to stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45.
That would be nice. And keep in mind how tough Northridge is defensively. They held this Northwood team to 0 points in that game last week.
4th and 3, and Chaz Hardy takes it out to the 39-yard line. A pickup of 14 for Hardy, who's having his best night in the Mishawaka uniform so far. Sod coming out of the helmet. Oh, you got to love it on an October Friday.
54 yards rushing in this first half for Hardy.
Nice 1st and 10.
Mason has 23.
Fisher wants to air it out. Devon Parker is out there, and Sammy Smith won't let him get it. Sammy Smith went right over the top of Parker to knock that one away.
1 out of 3 passing on the night now for Fisher. Parker is his favorite receiver. You might have gotten the idea. But they've also got a tight end who can catch the ball, and the more they spread things out, going wide, going deep, makes Mason a little bit more attractive up the middle.
2nd and 10. Boy, the Panthers really stack in the middle, though, against this offense. Fisher couldn't get to the outside. Again, the gap is shot terrifically that time by Northwood. Coming up to make the hit for the Panthers is Joas Miller, the defensive tackle. He beat his man and gets Fisher for a loss of 2 in the backfield.
12 yards on 10 carries for Fisher tonight. He's been a big part of their offense, averaging 7 yards a carry. And Northwood's done a good job on him.
Now a counter play. Milan Burris with a blocker in front. Burris can scoop. Look out. He's at the 20. One man to beat, and he couldn't do it as he's knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line. What a run for Milan Burris of 53 yards. Watch it again on the Aegis Dental Group replay. Mishawaka having all kinds of success with counters and reverses tonight to take advantage of the pursuit by Northwood.
150-plus yards rushing now for Mishawaka here in the first half.
Sammy Smith knocks him out of bounds. Minute 27 to go in the half. Mason up the middle, crashes forward to the 4-yard line, a pickup of 6 for the Mishawaka fullback.
It had been a while for Mason to carry that ball.
Gives him a chance to freshen up those legs at 2nd and 4. And a timeout will be called by Northwood. The timeout sponsored by Reliance Construction. Nate Andrews and Dave Wilson want to set that defense.
Folks, we've been mentioning the great service you can get from Cut-Right Tree Services. They're the home of the Grapple, a specialized piece of equipment allowing a tree to be taken down quickly, safely, and with no damage to your lawn. For more information, visit CutrightTreeServices.com.
David Wilson, former Goshen head coach, has been the defensive coordinator here at Northwood for a while. He was really emphasizing some points to his defense this week about trends that he was able to pick up in this Mishawaka offense, how they run in different formations, and it looks like his players have been pretty good pupils this week. They've done their homework.
They did their homework indeed, and you think about all the things going on these days with high school kids and who's able to play, who's not, all the different things, and Northwood has come in here very focused, as opposed to, I think, Mishawaka's, I'm not sure if they had a lack of respect for Northwood tonight, thinking that they're going to be a little bit undermanned, but they got to strap it on and get this thing in the end zone and make themselves a ball game here with Northwood at halftime.
Well, Fisher still talking things over on the sidelines with Keith Kinder. Looking at a 2nd and 4. Cavemen still have one timeout left. With 1:07 to go in the half.
This will be the 8th play of this drive. It started at their own 18-yard line.
Given the success they've had with counters, let's see if they try to run one down here. Northwood fans encouraging their team. It's Mason off the left side. Touchdown, Mishawaka. Drew Mason slashes in for his 7th touchdown of the season. And now the Cavemen trail by 2, and they'll go for it on the conversion. The touchdown sponsored by Bethel University. Mason keeping the pad level low and angles into the end zone.
82 yards on the drive for Mishawaka in 8 plays.
And a huge 2-pointer right here. Fisher taking his time to set his team. Fisher hands it off. Mason didn't get there. The 2-point conversion fails as Northwood is able to penetrate and upend Mason before he gets to the goal line. And the Panthers have a 2-point lead with 1:04 to go first half.
2 minutes and 50 seconds on that drive. Very efficient. A couple of things happened on that drive for Mishawaka. They threw the ball deep twice. They didn't complete them, but it opened up the offense a little bit, and it allowed them to get those counters and delays to be successful. Some big carries in that drive.
Mason thought he had extended the goal line, but as you could see from our goal line camera down there, never even got to the goal line. Sammy Smith came in and made sure that was the case.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the scoring is not over for the night.
Not the way both of these teams have been moving the ball.
Yeah,
very entertaining game here at Andrews Field tonight.
We'll take a look at those numbers at halftime. We'll have our student athletes of the week, and Chuck will have a chance to take a look at some of the other games, some of the other matchups tonight, and what's ahead. How about that matchup next week in the Northern Indiana Conference North Division?
Well, Elkhart, if they can get past Adams tonight, would be undefeated, and so would Marion, and that would be a big one at Rice Field next week. Want to go downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. We've already heard about the counters that Mishawaka is running against Northwood. Why is Northwood having so much success against the Mishawaka defense tonight?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the way they're running their offense. They're really loading up everywhere they go. They're loading up 3-4 guys going in that direction. They have an extra 2 guys going every single time on that. And they're just playing out there, just letting everything out there, playing nice and loose, and they seem very confident, guys. Health
Markets and Cheryl Noblet sponsor the kick by Connor George. Sammy Smith took it at the 10, runs it out to the 32. We'll see how adventurous Nate Andrews wants to get with this last minute. He does have 2 timeouts remaining.
He's also got the lead. I think that's going to be a big confidence builder for his team going into that locker room at halftime.
However, he may want to take a little bit of a risk here because Mishawaka gets the ball to start the second half.
Good point, partner. And, of course, with Bronson Yoder on the sidelines, have to keep an eye out for number 9.
Well, he's in street clothes.
Yeah, I know. He's
the William & Mary student. Of course, William & Mary not playing football this year, so Bronson taking some classes online and has some time to be here. Meanwhile, we look down at that sideline, and Blake Herr on crutches. He came off the field earlier with a knee injury, and that knee is heavily wrapped. Sellers will throw to Ethan Evers in the flat. Evers tries to put a couple of moves on. Brought down by Tyler Fair at the 36-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play. And Northwood looks like it wants to go hurry up.
How about this first half now? 3 out of 3 passing. 38 yards.
2nd and 7. 3 receivers to the right of Kyle Sellers. Sellers looks right. There's Evers again, dropped the ball. Incomplete pass, it'll be 3rd and 7, but the clock stops with 26 seconds left.
Sellers threw a pretty good ball there. Incomplete, but not necessarily here. There's Bronson Yoder.
Yeah, I wouldn't have recognized him with the ponytail going on.
Yeah. Well, he put that helmet on, you can't tell.
Everybody's let that hair grow out here during the pandemic. I mean,
yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at Kyle Sellers.
Kyle Sellers looking a little bit more like Trevor Lawrence these days.
Well, yeah.
That's not a bad guy to look like if you're going to play quarterback.
Exactly.
Sellers is going to run left this time, slips on the wet grass, and goes down at the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down, but Northwood doesn't have to run another play unless Mishawaka uses its last timeout, which the Cavemen will do to force Northwood into a decision here.
Well, it could be a special teams opportunity for Mishawaka, with just 16.4 seconds left to go.
4th and 7. If you were ever going to go for the block, this would be the time to do it. Reminder, coming up at halftime, we will have our Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates halftime report featuring our TCU Student Athletes of the Week, halftime highlights and stats. Always a pleasure to have Lori on the team with us.
It's great to be down here at Northwood. Such great support for the programs and the young people. And a great facility. We had a chance to be in the new facility earlier this week, and the weight room and everything exceptional, the indoor track. I mean, so much commitment to the young people at this school. Congratulations on what they're doing here at the Wandee School Corporation.
By the way, speaking of the athletic program, congratulations to Adam Yoder and the girls golf team at Northwood. They are 13th right now in the standings, right behind Concord at the Indiana High School State Finals. Round 1 was played today. Round 2 will be tomorrow, but considering there's just a limited number of teams in the state finals, speaks very well of that Panther girls golf program.
And certainly of the Northern Lakes Conference as well. And they're playing at Prairie View, which up here is a landfill, but down there it's a beautiful course in Carmel, Indiana.
4th and 8. Kyle Sellers lines up, and he got Mishawaka to jump, and now it'll be 4th and 3. That's not the most harmful thing for the Cavemen right there.
3rd penalty of the night, 15 yards in penalties from Mishawaka. Northwood had those 2 big penalties on their first drive and nullify what might have been another touchdown in their lead.
Mishawaka acting like they're not expecting a play here. They're playing way off the Northwood receivers up at the top of your screen. If Sellers decides to throw or run that way, he'll easily get the first down and into Caveman territory to the 42-yard line. First down sponsored by J&N Stone. 9 seconds left. Let's see if Sellers just goes up there and spikes it from under center. Clock ticking. Sellers takes the snap and does spike it with 5 seconds left. Not exactly sure why Northwood didn't use one of its timeouts there. They had 2 remaining.
Pretty good carry on that play by Sellers.
So now with 5 seconds left, you have to figure this will be the last play of the first half here. And we'll see what Nate Andrews' version of the Hail Mary might be. He's going to use a timeout to talk about it with his team. Timeout sponsored by Reliance Construction.
65 yards rushing in the first half now for Sellers. He's done a real nice job back there, and he's given his head coach an opportunity to say, yeah, here's what in our playbook and what we want to run. And what a step up this has been for that young man.
It's kind of been a night of surprise stars. You come over to Northwood and you expect Nate Newcomer and Caden Lone to be the difference makers. Newcomer out with that knee injury, Lone out with contact tracing. Sellers has stepped up, but he's had some company too. Ethan Evers has had a nice night running the football, including a 40-yard touchdown run. And for Mishawaka, it hasn't just been Fisher and Mason. Chaz Hardy has had a huge night running the football as well.
54 yards in the first half and 63 yards in the first half for Burris. So, yeah, both teams have had some people that have stepped up. We've got ourselves a real good football game.
The Northern Lakes Conference, year in and year out, always competitive in football. We mentioned at the top, Warsaw leading the conference right now with that 4-0 mark. But I don't think anybody's ready to count Northridge, Mishawaka, or Northwood out of any kind of postseason accomplishments.
Big play here, and they spent a lot of time talking about it. I'm not sure if they designed the play on the sidelines or if it's one that's in the book, but they're going to take a shot here.
You get the feeling this week at Northwood there might have been just a lot of drawing stuff up in the sand, but it's working. Sellers fakes to Evers. He wants to throw deep. He's going to haul it out there, and it is knocked down by the Mishawaka defense as the clock expires to end the first half. Tanner Feenstra, the intended receiver. Connor Addison helped knock it down. They go to the intermission here at Jim Andrews Field, and it has been exciting football between Northwood and Mishawaka. The Panthers lead it by 2. Stick around. The Laurie Sumter with Bill Hahn and Associates halftime report and our TCU Student Athletes of the Week are next on the 46 Game of the Week.
And welcome back to Northwood High School as we get a chance now at halftime to talk to our Student Athletes of the Week. A couple of fine representatives as always, and we certainly want to invite you to join TCU. TCU wants you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. And they bring in these wonderful young people. Autumn Dill is with us from Mishawaka High School. And Autumn, first of all, congratulations on being singled out for your efforts not only on the volleyball court but in the classroom.
Thank you.
Talk about the discipline it takes to get all that done. I mean, you're constantly in training, you're playing summer and all those things, but you really have to be disciplined about your time.
You have to be really dedicated to the sport, firstly. If you want to be a volleyball player and you want to be a player under Steve Anderson especially, then you have to learn how to do what he wants his way, and you just have to have the discipline to handle him.
You're a libero and you're a back liner, so
Yes.
you're digging out a lot of balls and things like that. But a lot of kids will look at a young lady your size and say, well, you can't play volleyball, but you've been very successful.
Yes, it's just you have to have the heart and the dedication to be able to play that sport. Everyone says that volleyball is a high sport, but if you have the heart to play it, then you can play that sport.
You've also been spending some time in creative writing, and maybe that's the direction you want to go in. We'll talk about what's ahead for you at college.
I would like to go to IUSB and major in education, or I would want to major in creative writing, one of the two. I want to be a writer when I grow up.
That's terrific. How about the people that have been behind you all the way? Give a little shout out to your family and such.
Definitely want to shout out my parents for always backing me up through everything and giving me the confidence to play. And I'd want to shout out, of course, my coaches and my teammates for pushing me to be the best player I can be.
All righty. And, of course, your dad was such a great athlete, too, right?
Yeah, he was a runner, cross country.
There you go. I was in cross country for about 2 weeks. I got lost, and they cut me, so it couldn't happen. Congratulations, Autumn, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
All right, Autumn Hill from Mishawaka High School, and over here from Northwood High School, we have Blake Herr. And Blake, congratulations on your success. You've been involved in football and wrestling for a little while here at Northwood. Talk about the experiences you've had.
Well, my favorite thing about sports is just the community, especially here, and just the team and all the friendships you've made, and all the little experiences here and there that make a big impact on your life.
I understand you got a little free time. We might find you in the weight room. You're really kind of into that bodybuilding, aren't you?
Yeah, I love the weight room. I feel at home. Time flies. The only thing stopping me is that I get a little sore.
Even to the point now where you might want to pursue that at the college level, get into an institution that can further your academics and weight training and physiology.
Yeah, I'd like to get a physical science degree and then get certified as a strength and conditioning coach so I could do something I love, which is the weight room.
Well, you've had a lot of people behind you too. Give those folks a little mention.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad. They were always there for me financially and emotionally, and also Steve and Stan Cook. They've always been in there, especially always making sure I eat enough and making sure I got what's right in me.
Well, the Cook's Pizza team's been on our team for a long time too.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Blake, congratulations on your success. We wish you all the best in the future as well.
Thank you.
All right, Blake Herr from Northwood High School. Those are our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. We're back with some halftime stats and highlights in just a moment. You're watching the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 30 years. Halftime at Jim Andrews Field. The homecoming ceremonies going down on the track. 16-14, Northwood on top of Mishawaka. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray. And, partner, it's been a very entertaining football game.
It really has been, and the fact that it's so even is reflected in the stats, and also in the fact that both teams have had heroes who have stepped up, made big plays, and I think the difference that Northwood gained in special teams with return yardage kind of offset by the amount of penalty yardage they had. But other than that, everything's pretty even. But again, some big plays in that first half.
Well, let's take a look at them and show you how it got to be this way here at Jim Andrews Field. Northwood draws first blood. Ethan Evers breaks a tackle and then breaks free. 40 yards for the touchdown. The two-point conversion was successful, and it was 8-0 Northwood at that point. But here comes Mishawaka giving it to Chaz Hardy. Eludes one tackler and says goodbye. 40 yards on that touchdown run. The two-point conversion will work. We are tied at 8. Then Kyle Sellers, who's really stepped up at quarterback tonight and done a great job in the Wildcat, takes it on in for the score. Two-pointer works, 16-8. Drew Mason scores the touchdown, but he would fail on the two-pointer, and right now that's the difference in the game, 16-14. And as Bob mentioned, it's about as close in the stat column as it is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, look at the total yards, 176 for Northwood and 174 for Mishawaka. The penalty yardage, 35 for Northwood. They had two major penalties on that first drive. No turnovers in the ball game, and that time of possession just about as close as it can get, about 10 seconds each way. And again, the score 16-14 is a reflection of a well-played first half with, again, some different people stepping up, and both teams' defenses having some big plays and then getting burned a couple times.
Well, they're getting ready to present the homecoming king and queen their crowns. We'll tell you who won it when we come back. This has been the Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates halftime report. Northwood on top of Mishawaka by 2, 16-14 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Back at Andrews Field, Northwood coming back to the sideline with a 2-point lead to begin the second half, but they'll have to kick off to the Mishawaka Cavemen. Bo Hunt is downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Oh, he's broken out the new 46 hat. Like the look, Bo.
Definitely getting chilly out here. Next week might be a little bit different, but tonight just a little bit chilly. Something the players are definitely going to have to adjust to. And I think one of the biggest things coming out in the second half is Northwood still going to have that intensity that they had in the first half. I thought they outplayed Mishawaka in that first half with the intensity that they showed on the field. And can Mishawaka, can they come out and then can they raise their intensity level and really match what Northwood's done in the first half, guys?
Well, Bo, we think we found a place for you to go back behind the Mishawaka bleachers. They've got some s'mores back there. They've got a nice little bonfire going back there.
Who says I haven't been back there yet?
Well, that's true. I think the crew, the guys up on top of the press box, they're ready to head on over to the bonfire as well. We appreciate everybody in their hard work tonight in chillier conditions than what we've been used to, Robert.
Yeah, but the jackets are nice. I want to thank St. Andrews Products over in Michigan City for outfitting us very well this year. And the stocking caps do look nice. And Bo's easier to find now with that red hat down there on the sidelines.
So Northwood will kick off here to start a third quarter. Third quarter brought to us by Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church. And the kickoff for Northwood sponsored by our friends at R. Yoder Construction. Tanner Feenstra will put the boot to it. Last time he was able to pop it over everybody's head, get it rolling, and kind of force Mishawaka into some bad field position. We'll see what he's able to do here.
Mishawaka needs to tighten up their act here in the second half. They had some mistakes, and we'll see what happens. But here to call the second half of what's a thriller so far, here's Chuck Fraby.
Feenstra on approach. He'll send this one hurtling down. Fisher makes the fair catch at the 27. And Mishawaka will start there, 1st and 10. Justin Fisher had a fairly quiet for him first half. Just 1 of 3 passing. And in terms of running the football, for a young man that's had 5 100-plus yard games this season, I don't think he had more than 20.
He had 12 yards on 10 carries. And he had some negative carries in there, which were a result of a couple of things. Number one, blocking breaking down, but number 2, they mishandled the ball a couple of times. Now, they didn't lose it. There weren't any turnovers in the first half, but all you need is one of those that acts like a 5-yard or 10-yard penalty, just kind of stalls your drive.
Drew Mason, the fullback behind Fisher, was held in check as well. It was the wings, Hardy and Burris, who got the bulk of the yards for the Cavemen. It's Fisher keeping on the option here. Dances to the outside, breaks a tackle, cuts away, look out. He's in Northwood territory at the 49. A first down for Mishawaka, sponsored by the Jordan Auto Group, and a 24-yard pickup for Justin Fisher.
And another first down for Mishawaka.
The strength of Fisher's legs there helping break a tackle, and then the elusiveness helping him get away from another before Miller brought him down from behind.
Changed that number in a hurry, didn't he? It's up to 36 yards now, 11 carries.
And now Mason, oh, did he take a pop from Eddie Hildebrandt. Eddie Hildebrandt with the hit of the night so far after a pickup of 1 by Drew Mason, and Hildebrandt grinning about that one.
Wow. Partner used to have an expression for that. I think it was dough pop.
He did dough pop.
Man. Eddie Hildebrandt, one of those guys stepping up tonight.
2nd and 9. Burris checking on the play from the lower wing position, but it goes to Mason again. He's no worse for wear. He goes right back up the middle. Hildebrandt with the tackle again, but this time after a pickup of 8, and it's 3rd and 1. Well, Drew Mason's a competitor, and he can appreciate the fact that somebody else made a good play. You tip your cap, but then you say, okay, let's see how you do with this one.
38 yards on the ground tonight for Mason.
And on 3rd and 1, it's Mason again behind his lead blocker, as he got a big surge from Ethan Nowacki that time and picked up the first down, sponsored by Jordan Auto Group. Pick up a 3 on the play for Drew Mason and a first down for the Cavemen.
Got a feeling that big offensive line had a talking to at halftime.
Fisher trying to keep the hands warm on this chilly night.
Mishawaka ran between the tackles early in the game, then went to the wide game and a little throwing, but going back up the middle.
Northwood with some moving around, but Fisher was able to find a seam that time and pick up 8 more. And the Mishawaka attack starting to look a little bit more like what we're used to seeing.
44 yards quickly now for Fisher as he's got to go in here in the second half.
Drew Mason took another big hit on that play, and he seems a little bit the worse for wear in the backfield, but we'll see. It's 2nd and 2. They hand it on the counter play to Hardy, and he's got the first down up to the 25-yard line. Ben Fatarusso made the tackle, but not before Hardy gets another first down, sponsored by the Jordan Auto Group.
Hardy's done a nice job tonight, 6 yards for the first down there. And Hardy now with 60 yards rushing on just 4 carries. Of course, he got 40 on 1 carry.
Hardy, only a sophomore, weighs only 140 pounds, but the speed is what he brings to that wing position. 1st and 10 from the 25. Fisher to Mason. Mason bounces off one tackler and picks up 5 up to the 20-yard line. We told you earlier they called Drew Mason a little bit of a bowling ball on this team. He's a 3-sport athlete. He also wrestles and plays baseball, and he's good at all 3 of them.
And he's got 46 yards on the night. And you're watching TV 46. I love it when that happens.
2nd and 5. Mason trying to pick up his 4th 100-yard game of the season. And it's Fisher pitching to Burris. Burris cuts behind the block, and then we've got a late flag that comes in. And I think it might be some sort of blocking infraction on Mishawaka. But we'll see. It might also be a face mask.
Got to be one or the other.
With the referee throwing it from behind the play. Let's see what they'll call here. Jeff Carmichael with looked like a holding call against Mishawaka, and that'll bring the ball all the way back to the 35-yard line and set up 2nd and 20.
25 yards and penalties now for Mishawaka, 35 for Northwood. Boy, they had some momentum going, had it moving, had the chains moving, and now they're faced with a tough situation, 2nd down and 20.
Northwood changing fronts again, trying to confuse quarterback Justin Fisher. Fisher changing the play at the line of scrimmage as he's prone to do. He'll keep it himself here, trying to get around the right side, and a great tackle by Sammy Smith in the open field after a pickup of 3. Smith gives up a whole lot of weight to Justin Fisher, about 60 pounds, but it didn't matter when it got him down around the ankles.
Mishawaka got to be in 4-down territory here, Chuck. A little bit outside of field goal range, but got 2 plays to make up 16 yards.
Yep, looking at a 3rd and 17 from the Northwood 32. Dave Wilson's defense trying to come up with another big stop right here. It's Mason up the middle, and he didn't get a whole lot. About 3 or 4 yards. It'll be 4th and double digits here for Mishawaka. So from the 28-yard line of Northwood, sitting in no man's land right now, Keith Kinder and his offensive coordinator Kyle Shaw have to come up with a big call on 4th down.
Keeping an eye on number 1, Parker. He's a big play guy if Mishawaka has one.
Burris on the wing in motion. Fisher looks to throw. Heaves it up there, and the receiver got tackled on the way out, and that'll be a flag against Northwood. They were trying to hit Colin Hayes, the tight end, and Hayes was tackled as he tried to go down the field to catch the ball.
Yeah, you got to take it down about the 15-yard line.
The Northwood fans are trying to lobby for the fact that the pass was uncatchable. The reason the pass was uncatchable is because the receiver got tackled. So there's pass interference called against Northwood.
Nate Andrews among those not real happy about the call, but boy, his defense has done a nice job on this drive as well.
And that'll take it down to the 14-yard line, half the distance to the goal line, and a first down, sponsored by Jordan Auto Group. Take a look here. Now, Hayes is the one who ran over Sammy Smith, and that's why Hayes went down, and that is why the Northwood faithful are up in arms, because it was Hayes who initiated the contact.
12th play of the drive coming up here.
It's Mason up the middle, taking it down to the 10, a pickup of 4. Well, I'm sure after what Keith Kinder saw down at Warsaw this year and the officiating in that game on 46, he probably figures the conference owes him one, and, well, he got one right there.
Might owe him a couple.
6:12 to go here in the third, and it's 2nd and 6. Mason again up the middle, flips over the line and picks up about 3. And it'll be 3rd and short for Mishawaka.
57 yards rushing now. On the night for the big fullback.
He's had to work for it, though.
I say the big fullback. He runs like a big fullback, but he's only 5'6".
5'6", 180, sturdily built, mustache, mullet, fullback, the full package.
There you go.
On 3rd and 4, Fisher gives it to Mason. Hurdles over a tackler and gets down to the 1 for a 1st and goal, sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. And Drew Mason getting fed well on this drive.
1st and goal for the
Caveman can just be patient. That's play's been available all night. 62 yards rushing now for Mason.
Terrific kick-out block by the offensive line. Were they able to get in that time? Yes, they were. Mishawaka with the touchdown. Justin Fisher takes it on in for the score. And Mishawaka is in the lead at 20-16. And we'll see how Keith Kinder decides to play it here. He'll go for 2, try to get the lead up to 6. So Fisher able to take it in for his 13th touchdown of the year. And he'll check the wristband for the 2-point conversion.
73-yard drive in 15 plays. Helped out by
Fisher
the big
keeps it himself and takes it on in for the 2-point conversion. And Mishawaka strikes here on the opening drive of the second half. A long, almost 7-minute march ends with a Mishawaka touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Justin Fisher. And the Cavemen lead at 22-16 on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. So the Cavemen on the board with the touchdown, sponsored by Bethel University. And now the kick to be sponsored by Health Markets and Cheryl Noblet. As you take a look at Justin Fisher, the guy that makes this Mishawaka offense go, gets them into the right play, had back surgery last summer, but shows no ill effects from that, leading this Caveman offense.
Chuck, they ate up a lot of clock there. 6 minutes, 53 seconds. They went 73 yards in 15 plays. And again, Fisher with the 1-yard touchdown, and helped out by the big penalty, but overcame a penalty of their own. A pretty solid drive for Mishawaka. It looks like that halftime talk that Keith Kinder had with his offensive line was pretty effective.
Now we'll see how Northwood answers here, trailing for the first time tonight. Connor George with a little pooch kick. It's loose out there. Did the Cavemen get on it? Well, There's a flag, so it looks like the ball may have gone out of bounds.
There's a flag on the play.
And the flag, with the ball going out of bounds at that spot, would allow Northwood to have the ball at the 45-yard line.
Well, worth the gamble. Mishawaka almost had a chance to pick this one up.
George, though, kicking it out of bounds before one of his players could get to it. Dylan Wise was the closest one to it. So again, the kicking game kind of Northwood. They're going to get the ball at midfield with the 5-yard infraction from where the ball went out of bounds. And the special teams have been huge for the Panthers tonight.
Northwood has started at their own 35, their own 39. They started at their own 48, and they started at their own 32, and now at the 45. Pretty good field position. That's one of the things that Nate Andrews really was focused on, was trying to make sure the special teams made a difference than they have in this game.
Kyle Sellers comes out at quarterback. Runs to the right side, has blockers in front. Evers with another good block, and Sellers dives forward to the 41. Well, they're going to spot it at the just shy of the 40, so it'll be second and short. Nope, they put it at the 40. That's a first down. It's sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. Look at the blocking in front of Kyle Sellers. Evers and J.J. Payne leading the way.
75 yards rushing for Sellers now in the ball game. He's got 38 yards passing, so over 100 yards of offense for the guy who was inserted into the lineup because of injuries and other things.
Now the handoff, Eddie Hildebrandt with the carry, and Hildebrandt carries the ball for about 6 yards on his first carry of the night. Hildebrandt came into the game with 6 carries on the season. The senior, a two-way player for this Northwood squad. Member of the track team here at Northwood. So it's 2nd and 3 from the 34.
Northwood taking their time, and both teams making an effort to shorten the game. We are running down under 4 minutes now in the third quarter. It seems like we just came out of the locker room.
Has not been a whole lot of passing in this one, but there could be here. Sellers rolling to the left, racing away from people. He's got a first down. What a burst of speed for Kyle Sellers as he takes it down to about the 20-yard line. Pick up a 14 on the play for the Northwood quarterback, and another first down sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates.
And that's another Panther.
Bo Stankovic with a good block on the outside to help free Sellers. First and 10 from the Caveman 20. Sellers now rolls right, wants to throw, heaves it out there. It's just off the fingertips of his intended receiver. He was looking for Parker Philly and almost had him.
Well thrown ball. 3 out of 6 on the night. A couple have been dropped.
Philly reaching up, and it hit him in the hands, but he couldn't quite hold on.
Folks, if you're building or remodeling a home, call Reliance Construction. They use quality materials and superior craftsmanship from local suppliers. Add in personal service and attention to detail, and Reliance will deliver results beyond your expectations. Reliance Construction, they're not just building a house, they're building homes.
Northwood looking at 2nd and 10. And a whistle before the play got underway. Nate Andrews wanted to take a timeout. It is sponsored by Reliance Construction.
Yeah, we're going to keep it right here. No, we're going to go to a break. What are we going to do? All right.
All right, 3:24 to go, third quarter. Mishawaka up 22-16 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by Intera Credit Union. We get it because we live here too. Jim Andrews Field all lit up on a Friday night in October. Beautiful grass field here at Northwood. Nate Andrews and Norm Sellers, big fans of the grass field. It's even split these days, I believe, in the Northern Lakes Conference.
I think you're right, partner. Folks, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, saluting the players, coaches, and all the team members who work so hard to be successful. At IFT, we put our team to work for you, setting the standard for metal finishing solutions. Reach us at iftworldwide.com. Like the teams in this game, we're working toward a great finish.
2nd and 10, Sammy Smith in motion. Sellers has the snap go high. He retrieves it, but he's in trouble, and Bo Brown gets him all the way back at the 35-yard line. First time we've seen that tonight from Northwood. You kind of expect that when you've got a new quarterback, but there's never a good time for it, and that was a terrible time for Northwood.
Lost a bunch on that play, partner. Hung on to the football, though.
They'll spot it at the 33. And it's 3rd and 22 for the Panthers. Sellers fakes to Evers, rolls, throws, and completes it, but only for a pickup of 2 to Tanner Feenstra. And so it'll be 4th down from the 31-yard line. But again, in a position where you're not likely to punt the ball away right here. Northwood's got to see if they can come up with a big conversion.
They've already flipped the field, getting the ball down to the Mishawaka 30-yard line.
Panthers converted one big 4th down early in the game, and another one late in the first half. So they're 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions tonight. Fourth and 20. Play action. Sellers fires. It's intercepted. It is intercepted by Milan Burris, and he'll go out of bounds at the Mishawaka 37-yard line. Milan Burris with his first interception of the year, and that's the first turnover of tonight's game.
Boy, I tell you what, they had the heat turned on, didn't they?
Well, 4th and long. You had a pretty good idea that Sellers was going to try to throw. And Mishawaka had more people back on defense than Northwood had receivers going out on the play.
Well, 1:48 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Mishawaka put together another long drive. Northwood could be looking up at a big deficit with not much time left in that 4th quarter.
Here's where you hope, if you're a Mishawaka fan, that your big offensive line can start wearing them down. Mason runs off the right side, picks up about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Keith Kinder would love to take some time off the clock and put points on the board. Northwood will stack the box, put 8 in the box against Justin Fisher.
18 carries tonight for the fullback.
Mason able to pick up another 3 yards on his 19th carry of the game. Trevor Klotz in on to stop that time, along with help from DJ Ellison, and it's 3rd and 4. Mishawaka getting up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry here, trying to wear down the Northwood defense. Burris in motion. Fisher off the right side. Fisher couldn't get around the corner. What a tackle by Tanner Feenstra. It's 4th down and 2. And Keith Kinder will likely go for it here.
Boy, needed 4 and he got a couple, but looked like Burris was going to be behind him for a pitch, but he just turned it up the field.
Let's see if Kinder decides to use a timeout here. Play clock at 15, plenty of time for Fisher to call a new play. Fisher keeps it, turns upfield. I don't think he made it. Side judge from this side comes in between the 46 and the 47, and that would be short of the 1st down.
Tripped up by Kyle Sellers.
The officials will bring the chains out for a measurement, but I'm eyeballing it from here. We've got a pretty good vantage point, and I don't think he made it. You get another look from Aegis Dental Group. Terrific tackle that time by Kyle Sellers as he brings down Fisher, what looks to be short of the 1st down marker.
Needed to get out past the 48, and looks like they're just barely past the 47.
So the chains come out as Nate Andrews pumped up for his defense.
Big measurement right here.
Now remember, the chain's not stretched yet. Now it is. And how close is that? That's a first down for Mishawaka. Wow. Just to the edge of the stick.
First down. Wow. 51 yards rushing for Fisher tonight. It's well under his season average, but moving the football, we're down, partner, to maybe the last play of the third quarter.
Well, that may have been the last play of the third quarter because the clock is rolling. Emotions are high at Jim Andrews Field tonight in this first battle between traditional powers. Keith Kinder's Mishawaka Cavemen taking on Nate Andrews and the Northwood Panthers, and it's the Cavemen up by 6 as we go to the fourth, 22-16 on the game of the week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. You're looking at the Northwood bench as we send it downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo, your thoughts on that third quarter?
Man, that was a long third quarter, I tell you what. But no, ball control. These two teams coming in, Northwood wanted to do that because they want to keep the score low, and Mishawaka, that's how they run their offense. They want ball control and just steady Eddie down the field. And what a great job they both did in that third quarter there. Here going into the fourth quarter, a lot of people like on that chain gang over there, but you got to remember that is Northwood's chain gang, so they're the ones that had the measurement on that. So can't get mad at those guys. They had it properly right out there. But, going to the fourth quarter here, I think it's just going to be a battle up there, and Northwood has to step up on this drive right here. They can't let another 5-6 minutes go off the clock and let Mishawaka go down and score and go up by 2 scores.
Fourth quarter brought to us by Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church. Of course, both sideline reports brought to us by Bills Heating.
7 plays in this third quarter, or next third quarter for Northwood. 19 for Mishawaka.
Ethan Evers upends Justin Fisher after a pickup of about 2 yards that time. It'll be 2nd and 8. And the yards have been tough to come by for the big 2 in this Mishawaka offense.
You really have 53 yards now for Justin Fisher.
He averaged nearly 7 yards a carry coming in, and Mason was at about 6 yards per romp. Fisher resets the offense on 2nd and 8. It's Mason up the middle. Ooh, he was close to breaking that one free. Brought down after a pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Mason now is 67 yards rushing. 63 for Burris. 60 for Hardy.
You see the JB on the back of those Mishawaka helmets for Jacob Bush, one of their players who was injured in a motorcycle accident that claimed the life of his father earlier this year. There's Mason plowing forward, short of the first down. It'll be another 4th down and short here for Mishawaka, looking at 4th and 1.
$70 yards on 23 carries now for Mason.
So Mishawaka just got done with 1 key 4th down conversion. Let's see what they'll do here on 4th and 1.
Northwood got to be careful not to jump here.
Panthers with 8 in the box. Fisher kept it himself and gets the first down, pushing forward to the 40-yard line. Another first down sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. Fisher looked like he might be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and you'll see it here on the Aegis Dental Group replay. Somehow spins away from Ben Fatarusso and gets forward to the 40. So 1st and 10
57 yards on 17 carries for Fisher.
It's Hardy on that counter play again. And this time Northwood stops him after a pickup of 5. That's the same play that Mishawaka was able to break for a touchdown earlier in the game. But Tanner Feenstra and C.J. Kuhn were ready for that one.
Pretty good balance for Mishawaka in that backfield tonight. Again, the big guy for them is Mason. But they've also gotten some pretty good yardage from Burris and Hardy.
2nd and 5. It's Mason up the middle, and Mason picks up 4, and they're looking at 3rd and 1. And again, the Mishawaka offensive line continuing to get surge against Northwood here.
74 yards now for Mason, 63 for Burris, 65 for Hardy, and their quarterback with 57. So over 200 yards rushing for Mishawaka in this ball game.
The big center, Tyler Ackerley, flanked by the guards, Jason DeWilkins and Jaden Seamack, trying to give Mason some room to run up the middle here on 3rd and 1. And it is Mason up the middle, and he had plenty of room to run. Also give credit to Dawson Nowacki for a clear out block that time, as Mason takes it all the way down to the 23, pickup of 8 for the Mishawaka fullback, and it's 1st and 10. Look at that line firing off the ball that time. Ackerley and Nowacki leading the charge for the Cavemen.
This will be the 12th play of this drive for Mishawaka. They went 15 plays in their first drive.
Textbook second half so far for Keith Kinder's group. Fisher kept it himself, and he was met behind the line of scrimmage that time. Looked like Trevor Klotz made the first contact. Fisher was able to go forward for about a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Folks, we want to thank St. Andrews Products for helping our crew look good tonight. They're ready to do the same for your team. Reach them at sales@standrewsproducts.com. With all the top lines in apparel, business gifts, and advertising specialties, they're ready to help your school or company. At St. Andrews Products, our answer is always yes. Now, what's the question?
Here's Mason popping through a little seam that time before Ethan Evers brings him down after a pickup of 4. And Mishawaka looking at 3rd and 4, which is just fine with this offense.
How many times have they had 3rd down and short yardage tonight?
Well, that's why Keith Kinder put such an emphasis on winning 1st down, because that allows you to be in position with those little 3-yard clips.
Yeah, they haven't been getting 7 or 8 on 1st down, but they have been getting 4 or 5.
Hardy on the counter to the end zone. Touchdown, Mishawaka. Chaz Hardy, as Kyle Shaw goes back to that play for the 3rd time tonight. He scored touchdowns on it twice. Hardy's 2nd touchdown of the night. And look at the kick-out block he gets that time from Jaden Seamack.
17 yards on the carry and the touchdown.
Now at 28-16, Mishawaka will go for 2 to try to make it a 14-point contest.
69 yards and 14 plays.
Touchdown sponsored by Bethel University. It's Mason up the middle. No, Fisher kept it himself on a great read and takes it on in for the 2-point conversion. So Justin Fisher on the 2-point conversion gives Mishawaka its largest lead of the night. Chaz Hardy having a pretty good coming out party, the sophomore with a pair of touchdowns, and the Cavemen lead it by 14 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by TCU. Grow your future. Visit tcunet.com. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt back with you at Jim Andrews Field. 7:03 to go 4th quarter. And the Cavemen with their biggest lead of the night at 30-16. They've scored the last 22 points in this contest. Connor George getting ready to kick it off. The kickoff sponsored by Health Markets and Cheryl Noblet. As you take a look at Ben Fataruso back deep.
6 minutes and 10 seconds on that possession for Mishawaka. As we said, they could score with another long drive. They could have a big lead with not much time left.
Sammy Smith took the kick from his 11. Gets out to about the 28-yard line. So a 17-yard return by Smith. And Northwood will have actually its worst field position of the night.
Get a feeling the momentum seems to be going the other way.
Mackay Baker on the special teams tackle that time for Mishawaka. So Booney Booker talking over things with his offense over there on the sidelines. Nate Andrews trying to keep his team fired up here with 6:55 to go. Kyle Sellers at quarterback. Wants to run to the left side. Mishawaka strings the play out beautifully, and Devon Parker slams him down out of bounds for a 15-yard penalty. Or actually, that might have been Tyler Fair. We'll check out the end of the play here. And it wasn't Parker, it was Kanan Jewett who came over and took him down well past the sidelines.
Had a hold of him on the field, though.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty against Mishawaka and a first down sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates.
15 yards on the penalty. And that's another Panther. First down.
Mishawaka now with 40 yards in penalties. 45 for Northwood, so that's evened up here in the second half.
But a key penalty call in this game was the pass interference against Northwood on a fourth down play by Mishawaka on its opening drive of the second half that led to a Caveman touchdown. Here's Ethan Evers carrying the ball for 7 yards down to the Mishawaka 48-yard line. So Evers continues his good night of offensive production.
One of the things about this experience for Northwood tonight, Chuck, is they're getting a lot of people into a lot of different situations that they otherwise wouldn't have been. So it's going to pay off down the road for some of these players getting a lot of experience. Big game.
Number 20, Wes Yoder, just checked into the game. He's a freshman, the younger brother of former star Brayton Yoder. Wes just celebrated a birthday this week, turned 15. And it's Wes Yoder on the carry. Wes Yoder has some speed and again thrown out of bounds by Jewett at the 41-yard line, but that's a first down, sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. We get another look from Aegis Dental Group. And the problem for Wes Yoder is he doesn't have a whole lot of time to put weight on that frame. He's only 140 pounds.
Not yet.
So 1st and 10 from the 41. Clock stopped with 6:03 to go in regulation. Sellers throws to Wes Yoder out in the flat. And a flag comes in at the end of the play at the 39-yard line. So we'll see what this is all about. It's a holding call against Northwood.
It's a tough one. It stops the clock, but back they will come.
Northwood just cannot afford these kinds of mistakes to force this offense to overcome them.
Folks, you can receive a quality and affordable university education by enrolling in the Bethel University Extension site at Napanee Missionary Church. BU at NMC provides the opportunity to a Bethel education while engaging in weekly practicums specific to your area of interest. Multiple degrees are available, and because the program costs just $10,000 per year, you can graduate with little or no debt. Learn more about this local opportunity by going to the website at nmc.church/Bethel.
Kyle Sellers on the carry gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, the 41-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from there. Nice little 8-yard pickup for Sellers that time.
2nd and 10.
But the Panthers trying to work against a ticking clock right here, 5:15 and counting. Booker trying to encourage his team to get up to the line of scrimmage. Sellers was sprinting left, now pulls up and throws, and this ball is incomplete, but flags come in. It'll be pass interference against Mishawaka as J.J. Payne was impeded in his progress to get to the ball.
Penalty in the right direction for Northwood this time.
You'll get another look here from Aegis Dental Group. Payne, 24, just flat out held right there in the middle of his route. And so that should move Northwood 15 yards closer.
One of the big matchups in tonight's game with the injury and the situation with the quarterbacks at Northwood having to go with their third man and Kyle Sellers. But Kyle is really, I'd say he's almost outplayed Fisher tonight. He's completed 4 of 7 passes for 41 yards. Fisher just 1 out of 3 for 17. Fisher has run in the ball game for 87 yards, and for Northwood, 74 yards for Kyle Sellers.
Yeah, in terms of total offense, Sellers definitely has more. The good thing for Fisher is he has more weapons around him.
And they have more points?
Exactly. Just Sellers pitching out, and Sammy Smith not able to turn him away from every defender. Colin Lutz was the one who laid the lumber to him at the 31-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 15. Well, they'll give it a generous spot up to the 30. So Lutz, the junior, getting the start in place of the injured Keegan Maybe, comes up with a nice play that time.
Feeling that Mishawaka's size has worn Northwood down a little bit here in the second half. And the Panthers, you know, there haven't been many possessions in this game.
Northwood with a lot more players going both ways, too. Here's Evers. Oh, that's a lateral. That's a live ball. And Evers was able to get down on it back at the 42-yard line, but that's a loss of 12 on the play. Clearly behind the line of scrimmage, as you see, Sellers threw it from the 35, and the ball landed all the way back near the 40, and Evers had the presence of mind to go and get down on it.
Looked like just a little misunderstanding on what they're doing there. I think Evers might have had a chance to throw the ball had he caught it. But again, Kyle Sellers is not the regular quarterback, threw it a little bit behind him.
3rd and 26, and the Mishawaka faithful across the way making noise. As Sellers heaves it down the field, and it's almost intercepted, incomplete. Devon Parker trying to sell that he caught it, but it was clearly a trap. Not even his own teammates believed him.
But it does stop the clock. Can't believe we're down to 3:23 left to go. This second half has just been phenomenally fast.
Parker Philly, the intended receiver. I mean, it was a great effort by Devon, but the ball, no question, hit the ground.
One of his teammates came in there and said, yeah, he had it. But he wasn't wearing stripes, so it doesn't matter what he said.
And now Northwood looking at 4th and 26. And likely the ball game right here. Sellers under pressure, and he was able to get rid of it, but it's incomplete, and Mishawaka takes over on downs. Matt Lewinsky, the defensive coordinator, brought the house that time against Sellers.
Mishawaka Cavemen looking like they're going to have a chance to win their 3rd straight after a tough start. And Chuck, we could sit here and talk about all the victories that Northwood had tonight, but head coach and the players don't want to hear about moral victories. They wanted to beat Mishawaka tonight.
Aiden Hooten was the one who got to Sellers first and forced him to get rid of it. And so now Mishawaka will try to run out the last 3:18 right here, up by 14. And of course, they'll give it to Drew Mason, the workhorse fullback, who picks up 4 on this carry. It's about 21, 22 carries for Mason tonight.
Get a quick check on that, partner, but I think it might even be more than that.
2nd and 6 for the Cavemen here, who will milk the play clock for everything that's worth here.
That is 90 yards rushing tonight for Mason. Get you that carry number here in just a moment.
He had a career high 178 yards against Concord last week, and now Mishawaka will take a timeout. It's sponsored by Bonnie Doon Drive-In. We'll keep it right here.
There's 26 carries tonight, 27 carries for 90 yards.
Well, coming up on Thursday, don't forget the Indiana High School Athletic Association releases the tournament pairings for the 48th annual state tournament from Indianapolis. It's on ihsaatv.org. You can watch it beginning Thursday night at 6. Northwood pairings should come out right around 6:45 or so. Mishawaka a little bit closer to 7 o'clock.
Looking forward to next week. We'll be over at the brand new stadium at Northridge High School, and looking forward to getting a chance to see Intera Field. What a terrific contribution that's been to that program, and they'll be taking on Concord. Green will be the color of the night.
By the way, it was homecoming here at Northwood tonight, and at halftime they crowned the king and queen. Jacob Rosh on the left is your homecoming queen. Reese Barheit, the queen, and congratulations to both of them. What a great honor that is. We had some kings and queens in our home over the years. 2nd and 6. And Fisher will keep it himself this time, and the big quarterback dives forward to the Northwood 45. Another first down sponsored by the Jordan Automotive Group. And that dynamic duo of Fisher and Mason continues to do work. You know, when they came into this game, Fisher and Mason were the top area duo in terms of rushing this season. And while their numbers have been down a little bit tonight, they're still trying to stay ahead of that New Prairie combo of Noah Mangia and Ian Skornog. Hardy in motion. It's Mason, the fullback, running down to the pickup of 9 on the play. 37-yard line is where they'll spot it, as Mason flirts with the 100-yard mark.
28 carries, 99 yards.
He has had to work for it tonight.
I'm thinking he might get another carry here. Of course, coaches have no idea how many yards he has, nor do they care.
I was going to add that part, too.
The only number they care about is the scoreboard. Right now, it's looking like Mishawaka.
But he has been sure-handed with the football tonight. 2nd and 1, play clock down to 2. Fisher takes the snap, gives it to Mason. He's over 100 and a lot more. Oh, but he fumbles there and gets back on it, I believe, at the 23-yard line. So Mason gets down on it at the 23, a pickup of 14, and the 4th 100-yard rushing game for Drew Mason this season.
29 carries, 108 yards for Mason. You said, Chuck, he lost the football here, but he's the only one that knew it was out. So he was able to go get it. Well,
C.J. Kuhn just missed it, and Mason was able to get back on it. 1st and 10 from the 24, but now all Mishawaka has to do is take a couple of knees, and this one will be over.
Fisher about ready to run his favorite play.
The genuflect formation.
The victory formation. Wow, what a contest we had here tonight.
Give Northwood credit. They came in here with its 3rd-string quarterback. Kyle Sellers had him in the lead at halftime, 16-14. But a strong second-half performance by the Mishawaka Cavemen will lead them to a 3-3 record, while Northwood will fall to 2-3 overall.
And Northwood in the second half, just 2 possessions, Chuck, as Mishawaka ate up a bunch of the clock with a 15-play drive and a 14-play drive.
And they punched it in the end zone on both of those, which was a key for Keith Kinder coming in. It's all over from Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. The Mishawaka Cavemen celebrate as they pick up a 30-16 win over the Northwood Panthers tonight. Now stick around. The Topping Dental Group postgame show is next. We'll meet our player of the game after this on the 46 Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by
Not a happy homecoming tonight at Andrews Field in Napanee as the Mishawaka Cavemen come over to beat the homestanding Northwood Panthers by a count of 30-16. Cavemen now 3-3 on the year. Northwood falls to 2-3. And the second half, Bob, Mishawaka really dictated things as you would expect them to.
Well, and again, the size probably took its toll on Northwood, but the coaches always say the best defense is to hold the ball on offense and get long drives. They had a 15-play drive, 14-play drive, used up about 12 minutes just in those two drives, as Northwood was held to just 2 possessions in the second half, and that's good football. That's a good execution on the part of Mishawaka, and they had some big heroes tonight because Mason ran for over 100. Quarterback was very effective, and Fisher, and they got some other people who stepped up, including one that Bo's going to talk to. But they accumulated over 300 yards of rushing tonight,
which is their standard mode of operation. That's what they do. But typically they do it with Justin Fisher and Drew Mason carrying most of the load. Tonight they got a lot of help from a guy that probably showed up at the field tonight not expecting to be talking with Bo Hunt, but he's our player of the game, and he's standing by now.
Standing by with our player of the game, Chaz Hardy. First off, 2 touchdowns tonight, over 80 yards. Just talk about the victory tonight, how special that was.
It was very special to me because it's my first touchdown on varsity. The O-line played great.
Yeah, they did a great job up front. They had a lot of blocks, really pushing the line forward. And just talk about your fullback in Mason and how much help he did for you guys tonight.
Drew Mason, he's a dog. He never stops, even if he's injured. He'll always push through any game.
A lot of things we talked about was just the counter plays that you're able to do off of all that. When Mason's going one way, Fisher's going, you're able to go the other way. You guys practice that, I bet, quite a bit in practice, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We practice it a lot.
Hey, congratulations on being our player of the game. Best of luck to you guys in the Cavemen.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Man, picture, you're a sophomore, you scored your first varsity touchdown, you're just excited about that, and now I got to do an interview on TV. So
you don't need a bus to get home tonight.
No, big night for Chaz Hardy, big night for Mishawaka. Keith Kinder told us earlier in the year when things were not going well, I still believe in this team. I think this team will still be a sectional and further on down the line contender. I see nothing to dissuade me from that point of view.
No, going into the game tonight, we knew that Northwood had some setbacks with the personnel, so they were going to need heroes, and they had some. But Mishawaka also had some, so that team continues to emerge, and 3 straight wins. All of a sudden, they're still in contention for that NLC.
Northwood's young. They got to get some players ready for tournament time. I thought their seniors stepped up and gave them big games tonight. I thought certainly Kyle Sellers played very well in his first start at quarterback. Eddie Hildebrand had some big pops. And then they got some of the younger guys like Ethan Evers to make contributions. Don't count them out in that 4A sectional. I know things, you're not used to being 2 and 3 here in Napanee. It's okay. You know what? They've got a chance to warm themselves by the fire tonight over in Napanee and nurse their wounds from this one and get ready for next week. Our thanks to our TV 46 crew, who's probably also looking to warm up tonight and saying, Chuck, wrap up the postgame show. Dean Korsmo leading the way with Tony Beltran pushing all the buttons in the truck. A reminder, Thursday night, 6 o'clock, IHSATV.org. The pairings announced downstate for the 48th annual Indiana High School Athletic Association State Tournament. And then next Friday night, we'll be in Middlebury, the brand new Intera Field, to see Tom Wogerman and the Northridge Raiders, who had their hands full with Goshen tonight, take on Craig Kaler and the Concord Minutemen. You'll see it Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now for my partners, the Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Mishawaka 30, Northwood 16. So long from the skyline of Napanee.